Uncanceled Comedy Collective presents Top Censored News of the Week. It's time for Top Censored News of the Week, bringing you the stories the mainstream media refuses to cover. But if they do cover them, they always do it in a very sloppy or dishonest way, and it's always on purpose. I'm here with our co-host today, Craig Pasta Jardula. We're going to break down the three top stories they didn't want you to know about one at a time. Let's go ahead and start with the number 3 story. Coming in at number 3, Diddy trial witness Casey Ventura confirmed Trump hotel shooter and self-proclaimed Diddy sex slave was one of Diddy's sex workers. Let's bring that story up. Here we go. This is from the New York Post. Trump club shooter who claimed he was Diddy's sex slave was hired by music mogul Casey testifies, and this happened yesterday. Let's see. This is some of the story here. Casey Ventura confirmed Trump hotel shooter, self-proclaimed Diddy sex slave who claims Diddy, Hillary Clinton, and Obama are part of a satanic cabal trying to kill Trump was one of Diddy's sex workers. In court today, Casey identified Jonathan Audi as one of the sex workers who she was forced to engage in freak-off parties. We heard about the freak-off parties. And the claim was that Diddy was part of a black Illuminati group, engages in pedophilia, animal abuse, satanic rituals, and CIA mind control programming. He also mentioned satanic rituals are conducted at the Bohemian Grove. Now, we've looked into the Bohemian Grove story as well over these last couple of years. So there's definitely some stuff there. And again, the mainstream's not going to tell you this part of the case. In 2018, he insisted the cabal had an agenda to kill Trump and the assassination attempt was coming. Last week, in the Daily Mail confirmed that Diddy signed an NDA with Odie for $5 million in exchange for his silence. Let's take a look at this is, well, you know what? We saw some of this video, but the New York Fed agents just released the full 15-minute video. Yeah, this is the full 15 minutes. And the media, look, it's not like the media is not, the mainstream's acknowledging this, the abusive relationship, all this stuff. You'll see some of this transpire, but that's not really the hardest story. And the reason why we're putting this in number 3 is because there's a story the mainstream is missing here, because they want to make Diddy into this unique, horrible, twisted piece of ass that did all these things independently, and they don't want to look at the part about the grooming and the larger thing and it's the same with Epstein, right? The same thing as far as he was this unique pedophile that did these weird things.
He was a bad apple.
Yeah, the bad apple. That's exactly it. And we're all kind of conditioned to look at it this way. That there's just this bad apple. You get rid of the bad apple, and then society goes back to normal. I think that the part that a lot of people miss here is who groomed this guy. And you know what? We looked it up, and we found the guy. And this was a few months back. We already covered this on the show. His name is Clive Davis. He's the the co-founder with Diddy on Bad Boy Records. Yeah. And you know what's really fascinating, Craig, is that we went back to Wikipedia, and Clive Davis has had himself removed from any link to P. Diddy since we looked at it last year. It's very interesting. So this guy, he's keeping his distance, but this is the grooming process that happens where the people that they get to kind of get a free pass. Here's a clip of somebody trying to get a shot, a question and answer with him recently, and he's going to play dumb. Here we go. This is Clive Davis, co-founder of Bad Boy Records with Diddy from 1993. He's going to play dumb here.
Curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like puppy. The status of puppy. Yeah.
What do you make of that situation? All right. No comment from Clive Davis on P. Diddy. Mr. Davis, you're a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid? Have you spoken to Sean Combs? Any comment, Mr. Davis? any comments about Diddy? He credits you as one of his mentors.
The dog.
Yeah.
I got you.
So this guy is clearly protected, and he won't ever have to be questioned about anything. Meanwhile, Diddy looks like he's going to be taking the fall for a lot of people. We've heard him say on record that if I go down, you're all going down with me. I wonder if he's indicating Clive in that sentiment. We've heard him say.
Yeah, I mean, there was accusations too as well in the conspiracy movement that Clive Davis killed Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? There's a video of I can't remember who it was, but another pop star that was sitting in an interview with Clive Davis, and Whitney comes in and crashes the interview real quick to give the girl a hug, and she hands the girl a letter. And then later on that night, supposedly Whitney was, 86, killed herself in the bathtub of a hotel. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's been connected to a lot of people for a long time. If you watch Surviving Diddy, you'll see the whole story about Clive Davis. And, he's connected to a lot of other bad people up there. This is the top of the, these are the people they're going to protect. They're going to throw Sean Puffy Combs away, P. Diddy away, and make it about him when all these people above him are the ones who protected him for so long because they benefited from him, with their freak-offs.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I just want to say this part again. You go to Wikipedia right now, he's not linked anymore to P. Diddy. So to understand that you have that kind of power with Wikipedia, with Google, whatever, you can just do that. That really shows the kind of system we live in, where a guy like that, it's just not there. So the general public's not going to know this. And they're going to see, us talking about it. They're going to be like, well, let me look it up. And then they won't see it. And they'll be like, well, those guys are just trying to make sensationalism, but that's not the information is being controlled, and that's the problem. And so that's the first red flag when people see, why is this guy not linked on Wikipedia with him anymore? It's weird to me, and it's infuriating because like that information should be available. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah, nothing shocking about the claims now. It's just I think that we're maybe able to have these discussions more, and the the Pizzagate stuff. Things that if you said 5 years ago, you'd be like, you're crazy, shut up. Now we can actually have these discussions. So that's good. At least we can do it.
Now they just got to control the narrative. That's it. The narrative's out. Now they got to swing it their way, protect those who they have to protect and move on. And I'm sure as soon as Clive leaves this planet, which he doesn't look like he's got many more years here, then a lot of stuff will come out and he'll be the fall guy.
Yeah. All right. Coming in at number 2. The House passed yet another anti-Semitism resolution. This one might be the most insane one yet. Let's take a look. It looks like House Resolution 352 on countering anti-Semitism passes in a 421-1 vote. The only no vote was, guess who?
Thomas Massey.
There you go. And
where was Marjorie?
Well, that's a good point because she's been very vocal about this now. Yeah. I'm confused on the order of when the vote happened, but it seems like because we covered this on Tuesday, Craig, we got her little rant she did on, I don't know if it was Instagram or whatever, but she's saying enough with Israel. And that's great that she's saying that, but why did she actually vote on this? That's a great question. But this is the one, this is so crazy because when you look at this thing, it says, it's this number 2 here, it says calls on the executive branch and state and local leaders to educate the public on contributions to the Jewish American community and uplift Jewish stories and voices. Okay, so it's a bill to educate people on their narrative, I guess. Okay, and then number 3, it says takes all possible steps to ensure the safety, security, and dignity of American Jews in all aspects of their lives, including the workplace, college, university campuses, synagogues, and at home. It's so bizarre to have something like this, Craig. I mean, but we've talked about this with this special treatment and like this. This is the number one problem we face today. That narrative. It's just like I just don't understand how it can keep lasting. We knew that there was another bill that did get silenced, but they're just going to keep coming up with them. If this one fails, they'll just keep coming up with another one. This seems like there's this strategy to trying to get this into our legal judicial system to have these conversations be silenced, to force certain things in our education system, they're not going to stop. I mean, I don't even, so even if one gets stopped, there's just going to be another one. We need more, obviously we need more voices like Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene, but do you think we're going to get more of those voices, or there's just going to be a couple of them here and there, and it's not actually going to help us move in the right direction?
Well, really, to tell you the truth, right now, I think that we can see that our Congress is controlled, right? So, I taken a piece from Dr. Help me out. Our guy who's crazy out there, love him, but he's
Dr. Shiva. Are you talking
Dr. Shiva? So yesterday I got a phone call and somebody was like, we need to come together right now. We have to find a way to build a bridge and understand. And that person was like, first off, let me know Jose Vega, his website, because he's running against Richie Torres, and Richie Torres is a hardcore supporter of Israel, takes a lot of AIPAC money, but we need to come together and we need to stop this. And I said, well, listen, we need to stop with the slogans. We need to get our language right. The hell with ceasefire now. They'll never happen. They'll pause for a little bit and they'll go back to it. It's been going on since 1945. So there's no such thing as a ceasefire. Why don't we go with, let's end the occupation. Let's end the occupation of our government by AIPAC, by the Zionist entity. And I think right now it's more about the public coming together, marching together, libertarians, people on the right, people on the left, who understand that this is one of the biggest problems, is that our government is being controlled. I mean, your opening video showed that so many people, they're loyal to Israel. And right now we have Donald Trump, and I'm sure we're going to get into that, pretending to be like no longer with Israel. And listen, a 12-year-old could read the room after what Marjorie Taylor Greene put out there. And so many people were like, all right, enough is enough. We've already heard that, there's a whole bunch of conservatives that are out there pushing back against Israel's control over our government. So right now, I don't think we're going to get any movement from all these people. Like you showed, they're controlled by Israel. They're bought off by Israel. It's going to have to come from the people. Right now is a good time for the people to come together. And I said this. I said, let's have a group of people. We're not going to talk about any of the issues. It's going to be one issue driven. Ending the occupation of our government, making them register in the FARA Act, getting rid of dual citizenship with Israel and America to be a congressperson, right? Like all this stuff needs to get out of there, and we need to get rid of them. And it doesn't make a difference how you feel on Medicare for all or the cops or anything. We put all that aside and we get rid of this control of our government. It's only going to come from the people. It's never going to come from our leaders. They are bought off. They are controlled.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's going to take more people that have influence that can show their courage and demonstrate it consistently. So the hopeful part is that we have people doing that right now, people with a lot of following, and they're not backing down. People
Can I say something too?
Yeah, go for it.
It's not just in people with influence, Matt. It's people who can organize. But the problem is, organizers in this country are only used to organizing with their own tribe.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We got to start organizing across different lines for this one, because there's a lot of people on both sides of the aisle who are done with this.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And so the organizing is probably the most important part. I agree with you on that. Another part is if you are somebody that has influence, as they say, influencer, and you can be vocal and be loud and not back down, that's also helpful. People, and they set good examples, and they kind of inspire others. So people like Miss Rachel, I wanted to give an update on her because this is important, because it shows that the censorship campaigns don't actually work at the end. When you try and cancel somebody, the people come back harder and they say, why are you trying to silence this person? So I'm going to give an update. If you guys don't know about Miss Rachel, this is basically the campaign against her. So this was part of this, like, you can't talk about, you're doing children, broadcasting stuff for children, and you're saying we love and care for all kids, but you can't talk about Gaza or Palestine or it's anti-Semitic. So they do this whole campaign against her. Says she must be being paid, all this stuff. We've heard this garbage so many times. So it's Stop Anti-Semitism. This is like one of the most horrible groups that go around and targeting people, and they would benefit from these House bills to go through. Absolutely. So they're calling on Attorney General. This was when they reached out to Bondi to do this. This was a few weeks back, to investigate Miss Rachel for being funded by a foreign party. I mean, it's laughable that you would be saying that this woman is being funded when she's got her YouTube channel, millions of people, and she's just talking about being loving all kids and all children, all people all over the world, and just doesn't want people to die. That's her language, and they're calling it. She must be being paid by an anti-Israel propaganda a group or something. So she's they're saying she 20 million followers across all of her platforms. Her biggest one is actually YouTube, which they were trying to have it banned, but that was not going to fly. And so these are all the things they listed, all these things she was doing. None of this is true. Obviously, if you guys can go check it yourself. This is all BS. And then they want people to go and try and get her taken down. Well, guess what? Miss Rachel's been talking about Gaza for a while, and her popularity continues to increase. This is from Rafael Shimonov. Don't let them fool you into thinking opposing the mass slaughter and starvation of children is controversial. And her popularity starts to go up on IMDb gradually after all this happened. So people are paying attention that maybe wouldn't have been paying attention because they're trying to get rid of her. So that's important. And so I think that those are the type of examples that, like you said, aside from organizing, Craig, we like to see people like Miss Rachel stick it to their guns and not back down when they're coming after her hardcore, which they have been.
I think one of the biggest forms of hypocrisy when it came to RFK is that he was part of the Children's Health Defense Network, but yet he didn't care about the children in Gaza. This is the opposite right here, what Miss Rachel's doing. She's making sure that she speaks up for all children out there, and I think that's great. And I'm going to go check out Miss Rachel now. I didn't know much about her, but I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad it is backfiring in certain situations. But the ruling class, like you said, divide and conquer, 105 today, right? They're very crafty. They understand how to pick this up and move it the other way. So we'll see what they do moving forward. This is going to be interesting because it's interesting times right now. But I suspect, and we'll talk about as we get into it, that you'll just see a pause. The stuff will go away. The number one problem with people in America is they pay too much attention to rhetoric rather than policy and actual decision making. Yeah.
Check out Miss Rachel for sure. She does. It's kind of a character voice. She talks about, she has a different high pitch that she does when she's talking to kids. So people don't get to see her be herself too much. In this, I'm just going to play this clip because this is very inspiring, and she can talk about this out of her character on YouTube and just have this conversation. This is a little clip just so you get a sense of who she really is outside of her YouTube channel.
Her mom grabs her phone and has her little boys on FaceTime. And her boys are adorable. I think they're around age 7 and 9. And they're in Gaza. And here I am, like, thinking, like, trying to be sweet and talk to her boys in, like, the Miss Rachel voice. But I'm also like, what if my son was over there and my husband, and then I'm here with my little girl losing her legs? And then I'm thinking about the boys, and I was asking if there's any way they can come here. And this wonderful woman was saying, because I was asking kind of her to, she was translating, and I said, is there any way for them to come here? And she was saying no. And she was saying they don't eat anymore on FaceTime with them. Sorry.
No, it's a horrific situation.
And then the translator, I remembered she had said, like, thank you for seeing our children as human, when I had spoke out before. And so I want those little boys to have everything my little boy has. And their mom's a teacher like me. She's a math teacher.
Wow.
And people will be happy to hear that this is somebody who has people watching, and they're not there to watch politics. They're there to watch humanity. That's what they're tuning in for, human connection and how to elevate your family and your kids and learn and educate and inspire. That's what it's about. If you go to her YouTube channel right now, she actually shot up to 14.8 million. That's where she's at right now, which is far. And her, and she's got other platforms too, but that's the one they were trying to get rid of, and it's only increased since this happened. So good for her, fighting for what's right and setting a good example, even as the House continues to put these stupid resolutions together and trying to get them through. We have people like Miss Rachel that will continue to be vocal and speak from the heart.
Good stuff. What up, Palos Verdes?
Okay, let's hit the number one story here.
Yeah,
on
the
Top
reason why I
Censored.
came to the show. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Here we
go.
go. Coming in at number one. Israel kills over 100 in Gaza as Palestinians mark 77 years since the Nakba. So all of this talk, we're going to get to this story later, but the talk about Trump and the peace talks and going around the Middle East, and I'm not talking to Netanyahu again. Well, this part of the story was missed. What Netanyahu said right before this 100-person kill. He told us he was going to do it. This is it from AF Post. Benjamin Netanyahu has declared that the Israeli military will launch a full-scale military operation in Gaza, even as peace, quote unquote, peace negotiations begin between Trump and leaders in the Arab world. And then this happened. There's the kill from Al Jazeera, 100 killed in Gaza. And these are multiple attacks. This isn't just one attack. We know of a hospital that was hit. They lied and said it was a school that was abandoned. They showed the wrong picture of the map when the hospital was getting bombed. We're gonna get to that in a second. But this is the overhead shot, and Adam and Media reported this one. This is one of the worst crimes in the history of mankind. Caught on camera. They sent 8 trucks to lure out the starving and then open fired with machine guns and tanks while filming and making fun of it. You want to see it? This is hold on to your seats, guys. This is the overhead shot that he's talking about. And this is what they're sharing in the Israeli circles and gloating about it right here. Those are Gazans going to get food that have been starving for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's coming, but I mean, obviously we're feeling memories of the Julian Assange stuff from Iraq and thinking like that was the worst possible thing we could ever see. And they weren't supposed to want to get that out. That was supposed to be secret. If you guys remember the Julian Assange release, the WikiLeaks
Collateral murder, it's called.
Yeah. And once that was out, those weren't supposed to be out. That was wrong. So he got imprisoned for reporting on it. Fast forward to 2025, and they're just releasing it themselves. They're gloating about it. So they're just taking shots here randomly at anyone. And these are all people that they're tricked them into putting aid trucks out there, which has food in it. So each one of these they're just blowing them up randomly here. It's pretty disgusting. And then that's not it. Then you got the hospital. Let me throw this one up, and then we can reflect on. But this is the hospital that got purposely bombed. This doctor is gonna. This is Dr. Frezos Sitwa. He's gonna discuss what happened at the hospital and why this was reported incorrectly on purpose by Israel, by the IDF, and then of course by Western media, because they're all guilty of the misinformation as this is happening.
Israel and the military there say that actually they're going to continue until they destroy Hamas. What do you think that means for the patients at these hospitals?
I have to be honest. I think it means Gaza is just going to be destroyed, and I think that includes the patients in the hospitals. If destroying Hamas requires dropping 12 bombs on one small hospital, European hospital is a 200-bed facility. It's not big. If it requires dropping 12 bombs on them and then releasing a video that doesn't even show the building that you're purporting to bomb, I think that shows pretty clearly you're just bombing the hospital to bomb the hospital. It's got nothing to do with fighting Hamas. So if the Hamas thing is just an excuse to destroy all of Gaza, then I think it means they're going to continue destroying all of Gaza like they have, with the full support of my government. I should point out that's the most important reason for me to be involved in this. And so I think it means the patients are going to continue suffering, and it's just to keep in mind half of Gaza is children.
Craig, your thoughts? I mean, I guess at this point, we aren't surprised by this, but so while half the people on Twitter are celebrating Trump is going to announce a Palestinian state, and he's making peace deals all over the place. This has been ramped up, and so
he negotiated directly with Hamas to get the one hostage out, right? I think it's going to be another hostage maybe that they're going to get out there, but the one hostage that was an American Jersey kid is really dual citizenship. Donald Trump didn't even go with talk to Israel first. He negotiated directly with Hamas. Israel was really pissed off that he stopped bombing Yemen without even talking to them first. I mean, all this stuff is going on, but just to stick on this particular situation, every single day that goes by, 100 people in one day, 115, 120, that's a lot. When I would see 25 people killed in one day, and this is, once again, every single day, I go, wow, that's a small day. But it hasn't stopped, and it won't stop. So I don't know if you're ready to dive into the whole myth or realization of what is really actually going on between Trump and Netanyahu. Because it was leaked from Israeli newspapers and Israeli outlets. And I watch a lot of Judge Napolitano because I love his guest. He has on Larry Johnson and Ray McGovern, who I consider to be lefties, like old school lefties, not culture war lefties, but old school lefties. The other lefty, ex-spook or military man, I consider would be, what's his name? The guy who used to be on Sputnik all the time, John Kiriakou. Mm-hmm. So I really take hold of what they have to say and when they have to say it. But even a lot of these people that speak to him that have so many great things to say, they're even buying into this whole situation. So I'm going to reserve what's being said, because if we're sitting there and we're going, oh my God, Donald Trump and Netanyahu are at it, then why isn't this stopping? And when you're ready to let me go, I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to prove to you that it's nothing more than a hoax, because what we see right here with this hospital getting, lit up like a Christmas tree, we're going to continue to see that. Nothing has really systemically changed with all the new news out there. And it's all for, PR, narrative management.
No, you're right. This is going to be an interesting debate, because I'll probably be trying to play devil's advocate on a couple things, but overall, we're going to agree on this. It is a PSYOP operation. But I'm going to say one more thing on the top censor news on this story, and then we'll move on.
And I'm glad you put this here, because I've been saying to you, right? Like, this is the stuff that's censored. Yeah. It's not on the mainstream news. This story was not even, they're not even talking. At one time they had like an Israeli hostage little clock in the corner over there, right? Hostage was released. They're not even doing that anymore. They're just like, it's like Israel doesn't even exist in the mainstream media anymore.
Yeah. They're ramping it up. This is the part. This is the most disgusting part. I think the fact that this mark of the 77 years and no one's reporting on that part. What the general public doesn't watch our shows. They don't. They're still tuned into CNN to get the today's story. They don't even know what Nakba is. They have no idea.
No idea.
And they're too busy being told that Israel is celebrating their independence. That's not independence. When you go and massacre people, take their land, and then F with them for the next several decades over and over and over. And then use money from another country to continue propagating your war efforts and expansionism. And you're never quit. You're never just satisfied with art. We're good. We got the thing we wanted. You have to keep doing it over and over. That's what the Nakba was 77 years ago, and the mainstream won't talk about that. So the twisted irony is here we have Trump saying we're gonna, on one hand, this is gonna come to an end and resolution, and Palestinians will be recognized. Meanwhile, this has been ramped up right on the 77-year mark, and no one's talking about it on mainstream media. So we have to talk about this. But it is sick. It's twisted. The 100 dead in one day. This isn't, like you said, this is every day. This is just right now on this mark, and we need to acknowledge Nakba. We need to acknowledge it, get historical context so people understand that this shit didn't start on October effing 7th. And people need to know that. So this is a marker. That's #1 story today for top censored news of the week.